Hi, I'm Liam Dann, New Zealand Herald Business Editor at Large, and welcome to a new season of Money Talks. This is a podcast about money, but we're not going to tell you how to get rich, and we're not going to try and pick the next interest rate move. In this series, I'll be talking to interesting New Zealanders about how money has shaped their lives and what they've learned over the years. For today's podcast, I'm joined by Hayley Sproull. She's an actor, comedian, podcast, TV and radio host, and co-creator of the viral girl math trend. You can see her in Auckland and Wellington at the International Comedy Festival with her show Wild Flutters. Kia ora, Hayley. Welcome to Money Talk.
Kia ora. Thank you. It's so strange adding another string because you said podcast. I was like, oh yeah, I suppose so.
Future of audio.
Yeah.
Well, no, radio's got a way to go, I guess. So.
Yeah, don't curse it.
Yeah. But multimedia, I could have just said multimedia, I suppose.
Multimedia star, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to be. I am kind of old, so I know you from linear TV shows, The Great New Zealand Bake Off. Have you been paying attention? So I'm going to ask you to maybe explain this girl math thing, because it's a viral sensation that has passed me by.
Yeah.
I'm not on TikTok, for example.
You're one of the rare people that missed it, I think.
Yeah.
So it was kind of last year that it really blew up, and it was literally a conversation that we had between the two female producers of Flech, Vaughan and Hayley and myself. And literally it was that Carwyn, our producer, her hair was looking rough. And, it's expensive for women to get their hair done. Really expensive. Yeah. And she was like, I've got to get it done. She was like, I can't afford it. And our other producer, Shannon, was like, well, if you break it down like this, it's like kind of actually not that bad. And we were like, yeah, just encouraging. And then Flech and Vaughan were just like watching it unfold, like what the hell just happened? Because Carwyn was like, oh yeah, I think I can afford it now. And they were like, wait. We're like, it's girl math. Like, this is just what we do. This is how we justify purchases. This is how you break down the cost of something. And so we just chucked it on air that day. Like, the guys just witnessed some girl math happening, and we explained what it was, and the video did really well.
Yeah.
And then we turned it into a segment, and the producers got a jingle made, and we started doing it a couple of times a week, and then it's had like over 40 million views online.
So it's gone global, kind of.
Yeah, it was in like every publication and online, like BuzzFeed and Huffington Post and all this. And
so it sounds like you've tapped into a concept that people, or women, I guess especially girls and women, already sort of felt they understood intuitively as soon as they heard that phrase.
We literally just put a name and a hashtag on it.
So that's economics to me. That sounds like you're doing economics. I mean, that's all economics is thinking about the choices you make with money and how you think about money and allocate resources and all that.
Well, look, I didn't take economics at high school. I sort of went towards the arty stuff, but that's exciting for me.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it could be a whole stream of economics. I'm going to have to find a way to work it into a column or something like that. But So you're averaging down the cost of, say, an expensive new jacket if you factor in how long,
how many times you're going to wear it, how many uses. Could you wear it to a formal occasion and a casual occasion? If your friend borrows it, like that's breaking down the cost of it. How long is it going to do? Can you resell it and make some of the money back? There is like endless ways to girl math just about anything. I'm trying to think if there was, someone, because people would message in the show and be like, can you girl math this Apple Watch? And we'd be like, sure. I think there was only one thing, and someone wanted us to girl math an Audi. And I was like, I don't even know in this day and age if we can break that down as a justifiable purchase.
Well, if it gets to the point where you've got a whiteboard and graphs, then you probably take
Yeah, like, how could we do this?
Yeah, cool. Well, look, I might come back to that through the discussion of money. Yeah. But can I jump back, because we like to start with a little bit of background and all that sort of stuff, and ask you what your first memories were of having money. Do you remember holding it in your hand and, where you were and that sort of stuff?
I remember thinking, I actually talked to my brother about this. I remember thinking I was rich once. I grew up, my family definitely wasn't rich, but we weren't broke either. My mum worked in real estate. My dad worked in finance, ran a finance company. And he came home once with a second-hand Honda Legend, and there was a sticker on it that said Car of the Year 2000 or 99 or something like that. And it had leather seats. And he pulled up in the driveway, and we came down from our house, And we sat in the back, and I remember this penny dropping in my head. I was like, I think we might be mega rich.
Leather seats.
It's so funny now talking to my parents when they were like, oh my God, no, we were not rich at the time. It was like my mate's hand-me-down car. So I remember that, and I always remember we had nice houses, but it was because my mum would buy these dunga houses and do them up and then make them nice and then sell them and would move into another shit house and then da-da-da-da. But my first experience of like having and holding money was my brother, who's 3 years older than me, had a paper run. Oh, yeah. And when he was getting ready to move up to high school, I inherited it. And I used to make, I'm sure it was like $3 or something a week, delivering the Evening Post.
But it was real money.
It was real money.
Yeah.
And I used to pick up the paper, and on every Friday it was like a little pay slip that would say how much money you'd earned that week. Yeah. And then you'd get the money, and I remember I saved it.
You're a saver.
Yeah. So I'm not a saver. I saved it then, and then I learned how to spend money.
Were you saving for anything in particular, or?
I think I was saving to go to high school and like have an FPOS card and have a little bit of money in there.
So the grown-up sense of having control of your finances.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So you're growing up in Wellington, right? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. And what else do you remember about growing up in Wellington in that time? Was it where were we economically through the 90s?
All through the 90s? Economically, I don't even know because I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I remember...
I mean, overall, it was supposed to be quite tough, especially the early 90s. There was high unemployment and things like that.
For sure. Yeah, and I remember because I had two working parents, and so we went into like after-school care a lot and, hung out with our friends a lot. And it's funny now because I think my parents kept me quite sheltered from their money woes.
Yeah.
But now that we're adults, we talk about it quite a bit. Like my mum she would tell me that she'd be coming home around the bay as I lived in Eastbourne, and she told me she would like cry because she felt so good. She had like mum guilt because she was working so much and my dad was working, but they had to like afford things for us.
For a mortgage and all that stuff.
And then they had dreams of sending me and my brother to private school, and that was really important to them. One, because my brother was kind of shy and they wanted him to like get a bit more attention to come out of his shell. Sure. And me, because I was like, I definitely had the energy of a kid that could be very naughty.
So you needed a bit of structure, all those things that...
And so I remember being like, well, I'm at private school. I assume we're rich. And now, my parents are like, no, it was a struggle every single term.
They were working hard
really
to
hard.
You there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but your dad's in finance. Clearly, your interests and hobbies through school, you didn't channel down that path.
No.
Yeah. So was it performance for you right from the start?
Yeah. It was undeniable. I went into, I was a ballet girl as a kid. Then I got into marching, which was quite performative. I learnt piano from a young age. And then I just had this really big, extroverted, attention-seeking personality that it was like there was no other path. It was like not an option.
Was marching a big thing? I mean, I remember marching. Marching was huge in the 70s and 80s. It must have been towards the end.
Dwindling. Well, I only stopped marching last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's still going, but it's really dwindling numbers. It's not like a cool sport, and it takes a lot of your time.
I mean, I guess it's like synchronized swimming or something.
Really niche.
Yeah. But you've got to, there must be some real bonding and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, totally. And it's a family sport. My mum was a marcher and a coach. My granddad was a coach. My nana marched. My aunties marched.
Do you have a position or something? Or?
Yeah.
You're the twirler of the thing?
No, that's American marching. Right, okay, that's like your big your brass band marching. New Zealand marching was created specifically in New Zealand, the kind that we do.
Yeah. It's sort of like quite military, but not.
Military based, but feminized, about patterns and unison and arm movements and music and all that kind of stuff.
So that was a hobby, but at school, did you start in the school plays and that sort of stuff? Yeah.
In the school plays, and I was hosting the Muritais primary wearable arts and all that kind of stuff. But I was performing off stage as well. If you read my reports from school, it's just attention seeker, distracting, class clown, spends too much time being the class clown, needs to focus on this.
Did your parents push back, or did they kind of think, well, maybe she's got to go with this?
Yeah, they didn't really. I think because I was doing all right with my grades in primary school, and then I did really well with grades in high school outside of drama and stuff. So they were like, well, what's the issue? Other than I'm distracting everyone else's child.
I see here, and it's interesting to me because I've got a nephew headed to do the same thing. You were selected for that New Zealand program that takes a bunch of kids
Sheila Wynn,
to the Globe in London
Yeah.
to train Shakespearean acting.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was amazing. Because I had really gotten into drama at high school, this amazing drama teacher called Denise O'Connell, and she came and I was like, oh my God. And I think she was like, I see you, Hayley.
Yeah.
I see what you can be. And so I was really focused. I knew then that I wanted to be an actor. So then I got, swept into the Globe thing with Sheila Wynn, with the Shakespeare Globe Centre New Zealand. And
Your favourite play?
Yes, it's Richard III.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like not everyone's favourite play, but he's such a twisted character. And I played him at high school, and that's how I got selected to go to the Globe.
Yeah.
I love that. Hate King Lear.
Right, yeah.
And everyone says it's his best play. It's so dreary. I've seen it on the Globe stage. I've seen Royal Shakespeare Company do it. I've seen it 1,000 times. I've seen Ian McKellen do it, and I'm just like, it's so boring.
There's a kind of a, I guess I'm thinking how you bring these two worlds together. It's quite a highbrow way, and then when you're with Flech and Vaughan in the mornings, are you able to integrate some of that
I guess
Shakespearean philosophy and things?
I mean, I feel like I've moved away. I went to drama school to Toi Whakaari, and I went there hot off the back of the Globe, and I was like, I think I want to be a Shakespearean actor. I love the text, and because I love English, and I love the text and love the performance of it, the heightened style. And then I got to drama school, and I sort of realised I wasn't actually that good. And I was like, oh no, this is terrible. I've really put all my eggs in this basket.
Just because the standard comes up and you've got to...
Yeah, and they push you harder, and I wasn't really keeping up with it. But I still enjoyed making people laugh, so then I sort of was I think I want to make people laugh more.
But I mean, when you to go to university, that's a big step in the sense that your parents are probably getting you to try and think about career and how to support yourself and all that sort of stuff. So,
I know.
Was money ever did you think how's this going to go? I mean, in terms of making money, I mean, there's always getting to Hollywood and being super rich, of course, is
for some reason, no. And so many people ask this because my brother's a musician.
Right.
And my parents had 2 artist children. My brother left high school to go and study audio engineering. I guess to go I may not make a lot of money out of being a musician, so I'll go do...
There'll be a regular gigs.
do some kind of recording stuff. Whereas I was, whole hog, but they never really brought up money. And my dad, I was very lucky that my dad, he was the one you'd always call up and be like, hey, Dad, how are you? When I was at drama school, hey, how are you? Yeah, good. How much do you want? Oh, I just need a couple of $100 just to get through.
So through that, and even coming out, did you have to work other jobs and all that sort of stuff?
Kind of. I worked for my dad a little bit at his finance company.
Right. Yeah.
Doing checking whose loans are in arrears.
Oh yeah.
And sending out the arrears letters, which was like an automated system. And severely overcharging my father for quite bad work. I also cleaned his office, his finance office. I was a toilet cleaner for a little bit, but I didn't take any proper jobs. I didn't go and work for anyone else. Or go work at a bar or hospo or anything. Yep. I was quite determined.
It's the no plan B type thing.
No plan B, yeah. And so I was like, I'm not going to get any work. So I just ended up making a bunch of work.
Yeah.
And I got a little bit of money. Plus I'd met my partner at that point and he had a job. So some of that financial pressure was alleviated.
So when you say making work, was that plays?
Making plays, making comedy. I my first show I put in the comedy festival. So I've been doing that for years and years now.
Yeah.
Just writing stuff, working with other people. Because it's acting. I don't know what made me think I would be able to walk out of drama school and become an actor, but it just sort of didn't happen.
It's tough in New Zealand, right? There's Shortland Street, and then after that it's pretty patchy.
Yeah, there's not that many jobs.
Yeah, but I mean, there must have been something about comedy. I've heard comedians talk about that feeling when they're on stage and they get a laugh. It's quite addictive. The fact that you can
heroin.
Get that.
Yeah. It is literally very exhausting, right? And you put yourself out there, especially solo stuff. But I'm always backstage being like, why the hell did I do this? This is the stupidest thing you've ever committed to. Just go home like a normal person. And then you get out on stage and it's such an addiction. I'm such an attention addict. And when people laugh at my providings, I just love it. There's nothing like it. Yeah. So I was like, oh, money, shmoney. But I've sort of managed to find it.
Find a path. Yeah, well, I mean, it has been an incredible run. You got the as I mentioned, the Great Kiwi Bake Off, and Have You Been Paying Attention, Golden Boy, and now, and all the comedy shows through to now a regular gig on ZM. I mean, how did that unfold, and how have you sort of integrated it?
It's sort of wild. Like, I was in Wellington, and I was determined not to move to Auckland, because everyone does. Everyone leaves drama school and moves to Auckland, and I was like, you traitors, like, I'm Wellington proud. I just love that city so much. My parents live there. I just wanted to stay. And I did for like a number of years, but I kept flying up to Auckland to do work and do a project. And I got on this great tour. I toured the world with a show, and I was like, oh man, like, maybe it's time to go. And then I just got into my head, I was like, maybe we should go. And I said this to my partner, Aaron, and he was ready to leave because he was teaching at drama school at that point. He was ready to leave. And so I had lots of friends working for Jono and Ben when they had a TV show.
Oh, yeah.
And so I emailed the head writer, Alice Sneddon, and I was like, basically like, oi, gives a job.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, we don't really have any, but you can come up if you want, and I'll give you a Monday half day. And I was like, right. So I literally moved my life in a car and moved to Auckland, lived with my in-laws while Aaron stayed in Wellington, and I started writing for Jono and Ben.
So you're writing for them, and did you start cameoing on?
Yeah, and then the next season...
It was a pretty chaotic show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was chaos. I loved it.
Yeah.
Then I got more writing days, then I got a segment on the show, then I got Bake Off, then I got Have You Been Paying Attention, once people were like, oh, she hosts. Then I got TV, then I got Golden Boy, and then it kind of just went from there, and then I knew Vaughan through Have You Been Paying Attention, and then kind of got into radio through that.
Yeah. I mean, actually, this is a question for my producer. Golden Boy season 3, is that on the cards?
No.
No?
No. It got lost with COVID, and then when COVID was sort of over, the network was like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, is it, you've obviously got a lot going on. Is it different bits of job, but does it become a full-time job? I mean, in the sense of...
Yeah.
I mean, do you keep sort of evolving it, and how do you sort of set goals for what you want to do?
I think you have to, because it's New Zealand, you have to keep pivoting. Like, you can't just go, no, I'm not going to do anything else but act or comedy. Like, I didn't want to be a TV host. I had no aspiration for that. But when it came up, I was like, you know what, I'm really good at running a room. I'm really good at talking to people. It's entertainment. I can, put comedy in there and use all my skills. So you kind of have to diversify. Otherwise, you just won't survive.
Yep.
I mean, lots of comedians, they're all writing on TV shows or doing little bits here and there. And I was like, for me, branching into like hosting or presenting and then radio, I was like, you can still use the thing that you love the most, which for me is entertaining people, and bring it into that. So yeah, I definitely had like a crisis when I was like, I don't think I'm an actor anymore,
right?
Because it's been a while.
Yeah.
But I still feel immensely fulfilled, and I'm still doing the main job, which is entertaining people and making them laugh.
And making a living from it.
Which is like, how glorious.
Yeah. People have different degrees of ability, beyond the ability to entertain, the ability to actually manage the money and keep your life on track. It's not an easy thing necessarily. Do you feel like you're quite good at the, I guess it's like right down to doing your own accounts and your own taxes and all that sort of stuff. How do you manage all that? Are you competent with all that level of money stuff?
I wasn't for ages, because when I was fully, like, this, working at radio is the first time I've had like a solid, consistent every fortnight salary, which is quite shocking to me. And I remember when I was first toying with radio, and I was like, oh, it's quite locked in, isn't it? And everyone was like, don't you like consistent money? And I was like, well, I suppose I would like it, but I was sort of getting by with like dry periods and then like really flush moments and then a big gig and then like nothing for months. So yeah, in terms of managing money, I was like, oh, I can make it work with not having consistency. Accounting, I was like, I just learned nothing about it. In fact, I was like, they should teach this at creative universities.
Yeah, because you're going to have to be almost you're an entrepreneur yourself, aren't you?
I don't know how to claim taxes or when you earn GST. I knew none of it. And then I just got a really good entertainment specific accountant. And they are like, I know what people on TV can claim, like your gym memberships or your hair appointments and your nails and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of learnt through her. Yeah,
getting good people involved.
Yeah.
we've got a few quick fire questions. What would you say is the poorest you've ever been?
Oh, my God. I remember the moment, and I was in my Mitsubishi 1992 Mirage. The fuel light had been on for 100% a week.
Yeah.
And I'd probably spent, to be fair, my last bit of money on a bottle of Merlot and a packet of cigarettes. They were $10 then.
Yeah.
And I kept jamming it into neutral and coasting down hills to get to the Berhampore petrol station, where I think I would have put in $4 maybe, and that would have been it.
Yep. So what stage of the career was this?
Drama school.
Drama school, yeah. So that is that classic poor student.
And especially at drama school, it's not like you don't have like classes and then breaks. It's 8:30 till 5 every day, and then if you're in production, then you're going into the evenings. That you couldn't get a job.
Yeah,
There's no room for a job.
Not the same.
Yeah. So that was pretty broke.
And when you finally got out and got some a paycheck or two, what's the most indulgent purchase you've ever made?
Other than renovating my house, it's pretty full of indulgent purchases, to be honest. It's been a harrowing spend for the last
that stuff is terrifying.
But if I take the house out of it, it was... I remember the first one I did was a second-hand Deadly Ponies handbag. And it was after I got Bake Off, and that was my first kind of chunky job where I got like a nice solid fee. And I went on Trade Me and I found a Deadly Ponies handbag because they're really expensive. And I was like, I've got to have one. And then recently, on a bad hangover, I had a really good year. It was New Year's Day. I was in Arrowtown after being in Queenstown. We went shopping and I saw a leather jacket and it was
cool, horrendously
expensive, and I bought it.
And has the girl maths worked on that?
No,
because that's the risk with a leather jacket. It can look really cool, and then you sort of feel a little bit.
It's cool,
it's cool. How often you get to wear it?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's a really heavy leather. God, that's a tongue twister. And it's got sheepskin on the inside. And I live in Auckland, where it's never cold.
It's not a great jacket.
Yeah.
Wellington's
I'll wear
a great jacket city.
It's great for Wellington.
Yeah.
I'll wear it in Auckland and I'll sweat and I'll be like, this jacket was so much money.
Yeah. If it's classic, though, it could last your entire life.
Yeah, it is
Maybe
classic.
You can factor that into the...
You're girl mathing. You are literally
exactly.
girl mathing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, how many years? So I bought it when I was 32. I'm probably going to die when I'm 80. So that's, so maybe it's like 82. So that's 50 years. Divide the jacket price by 50 years. So now it's really only...
Yeah, I have got clothes that I've had for at least 20. So.
Yeah, there you go.
During the election campaign, our Prime Minister, Christopher Luxon, slightly awkwardly suggested that he spends $60 a week on groceries. There was, anyway. How much, what's your spend look like?
My fiance is 6'6". He's a ginormous man. So I spend a little bit more than Chris. And I mean, honestly, I've got quite a lot of stomach issues as well. Right. So I've always I just want to go in and buy some bread, beans and whatever, but that just upsets my stomach. So it's quite expensive.
Yeah, so you've got to do specific shops.
Shops. I'm definitely close to 300.
Wow, yeah.
And I don't have any kids.
Do you imagine winning lotto still, ever? And how much do you imagine winning?
I was recently, it was said it was one in Carterton in the Wairarapa, and I was in the Wairarapa that week.
Oh, that was the 30 million.
The 30 million.
Yeah.
And everyone texts me being like, are you coming back to Auckland?
Yeah.
I always dream about it. And for me, it's always like a fun road trip thing, being like, right.
Yeah.
We just won 20 mil. What are we doing?
Yeah, I guess the reason I asked that question is because I weirdly, when I don't really buy lotto tickets, but when I imagine winning, I sort of imagine winning about 800,000 or something.
Yeah, right.
Because I just want to pay off the mortgage and maybe be able to travel across America and not have my life turned up.
Yeah, I think that for me, there's always a line, when it gets to something like 30 million, like it was recently, I'm always like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
How
much do you give to friends and
how much do you give away? Yeah. So, but I always do that. I always go right, well, if it's this amount to this amount, here's how much is going to charity, here's how much is going to family, here's how much we're keeping, here's how much is going into a long-term deposit. Yeah. I think about it all the time. My family, we've just always done that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the retirement plan, to be honest.
It's quite good fun. I mean, it sounds like you've got a house.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's part of a retirement plan, I guess, is having a house on it.
It would be if you didn't buy it in December 2022.
Oh, yeah. Again, I'd say my advice would be just long-term average that over a long time. It's really tough right now, right?
Yeah,
Interest
I mean,
rates
I keep trying to remind myself, we sold a house at the same time.
Yeah.
We bought into the same market. We sold the house for more money than it's worth. We bought the house for more money than it's worth.
It's not the same as property investing where it's the place you live in.
Yeah, and this house, because we've renovated, this is our fourth house we've renovated. And even saying that, I never thought I'd buy a house. We bought a really cheap house in the Wairarapa, and then that just kind of went well, and then bought another one. So this house is like for us, and so I'm not so worried that the value of it has plummeted while we've been pouring money into it.
Usually those equations come right
they do,
over time. When it comes to money like that, are you an investor, a risk taker, or is it really just, KiwiSaver in a house?
Do you know what? I definitely have this privilege where I always say to Aaron, like, don't worry, I'm a lucky girl. Because there have been moments, like during our renovation, we had some really scary moments. The cost of everything went up.
Yeah.
There was a point where the bank was like, hey, no, we're not giving you that money anymore. And we were like, excuse me? The builder's like hammering out the back, and we were like, oh, shit, like this is really bad. But I'm always... it is privilege, I guess, is the only way that I can call it, because I'm always like, things will just work out fine. So I'm not an investor. I'm not a smart saver. I'm not someone who is cautious with money. I'm like, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
How much is that? Okay. Oh, it'll be all right. We'll get it back.
So you've kind of gone a long way to answering this last question, but it is kind of a way to sum things up. How much is making money important to you now, I guess, and how much is it more just a byproduct of success?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I think I've always I don't know. I feel like I didn't get into this career for money because, as we said earlier, that was never a guarantee. No one ever said, hey, go to drama school, you'll be rich. But, my godfather is and always has been quite a wealthy man. And when I say always has been, he took some risks and invested, and he's been wealthy. And I remember always being like, oh, it must be so great. And he's like, no, you spend as much as you make. So your spending just adjusts to the kind of lifestyle that you have. So at the moment, I'm happy and doing all right, and I've got a nice house. And when that money goes away, I'll just spend less as well. So I it's important now because I want to live in the house that I live in, but if I can't, it'll also be fine.
So it means to an end.
Kind of. And for me, this is going to sound, I'm going to roll my eyes. But for me, the real pay for doing what I do is that live feedback that you talked about.
Yeah.
It's being on stage, people coming to you for their choice of entertainment and making them laugh, and you hear it back, you're like, ooh, that's the buzz, not the paycheck at the end of the fortnight.
That's good to hear. Okay, speaking of that, comedy festival coming up, what's the big theme in Wild Flutters?
Well, Wild Flutters is about the world of erotica, because I don't know if you're aware, but women are more into various forms of pornography than ever before, especially reading it, listening to it. So it's kind of all about that in a very silly and roundabout way. Wild Flutters is my sort of ode to female erotica. And I'm doing it in the comedy festival. It's going to be a really fun time. I've moved into a big venue this year, so I'm like, oh, I hope people come.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's brilliant. Well, wishing you all the best for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for listening to this episode of Money Talks. If you want to get in touch, drop me a line at liam.dan@nzme.co.nz. And you can read more from me at nzherald.co.nz. Thanks to my producer, Ethan Sills, and sound engineer, Leanne McDonald. Follow Money Talks on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts, with new episodes available every Thursday.